Testing, testing. Is my microphone on? Let me see. Just a little bit of a delay for me to hear myself. It's on, but it's fairly quiet. There we Okay. Welcome to the live. I am so sorry that I missed last week. Went down with a cold and I lost my voice, so you would have had like an ASMR experience with me. It's still kind of not the greatest. I have started a challenge giveaway on the Vinci Eye App Facebook group. So I posted a list of different challenges that you can do. All you need to do is complete 10 out of the 20 before December 1st. And then if you do that and send me an email with your drawings and the list with the checked off what you've done, you will be entered to win a cash prize. There will be 3 cash prizes of $50. So this is good for anybody. It doesn't have to be masterpieces. This is just for fun, just to loosen up and increase our creativity. So yeah. What is new? Nothing else is new. Today we are going to be studying hair. So I'll show you some steps that you can do, both with and without the app. Yeah. If you want to try the Vinci Eye App for free for a year, there's promo codes in the bottom of, like, in the description. For iOS or for Android, you need to email me. My email's in the description as well, and I will give you your personal one-time use code, so you can try it for free for a year. So here we go. Let's get started. I'm going to start off with showing you how you can get the reference photo that we're working with. You can either go to the Facebook page or a Facebook group or my Facebook page if this method doesn't work. Should be in the featured for both of those. The Facebook group is Vinci Eye App Vinci Eye App's group, and then mine is charitylowsart. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the 3 purple lines at the top left, and then you're going to go to search profile, which is the little magnifying glass. You're going to type in my name, which is charitylowsart. charitylowsart. And then you go to inspiration. You go to inspiration, and then you're going to press the photo icon underneath the reference, and then this will pop up. You guys can add your pictures that you've drawn afterwards on here if you'd like. So there's an add button, but we're going to go to the top right corner where it says draw this, and we're going to use AR mode. Okay, for materials, we are using, first off, the paper. It's Bristol board. I'm using this the smooth Bristol board. It's fairly thick. If the thickness will actually help us do some tricks later. I'll show you some tricks that printer paper just doesn't do, because you'll see in a moment. This is 11 by 14. You don't have to do 11 by 14 for this. This is just studies. So, and then I'm going to show you the pencils I have chosen here. I'm going to tell you how you can choose your own pencils. So let's say you have a pencil set. You lay it down flat. You go H1, H2, H3. I mean, no, like H4, H3, 2, 1, and then HB. And then you go B1, B2, B3, B4, so on and so forth. You're going to want to get the hardest pencil you got, so the biggest number with the H. And then you're going to want the HB, which is just in the middle of a hard pencil and a soft pencil. Then the softest pencil you got, mine happens to be 14B. And then something between the HB and the 14B. So I got a 6B. But your pencils are going to be a little bit different. This is just, I'm just telling you this so you can come up with your own pencils that you could use, because having too many pencils is a little daunting. You don't need to have that many pencils. Then you're going to want some blending tools. I got a makeup brush for soft blending, 2 blending stumps, a larger one and a smaller one. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these, but these are also blending tools as well. They're just little foam on, yeah. And then this one, you can use this as well, which is like a little tiny makeup sponge. You can use that for blending. And then also one of my favorites is just a piece of toilet paper or tissue paper, and this is good for blending large areas. And then for erasers, I love to use Knead Eraser. And then I have a Mono Zero for the finer details. And then to bring up a lot really quick, I like to use a electric eraser. Some other tools that will be handy to have is like the sandpaper thing that comes with most drawing kits. This is great for making graphite powder for slight blending and adding some depth to your piece. I use an empty pen. You'll see why later. That would be something I quickly show you. And then also for super fine lines, I like to use, I know this looks weird, I like to use a mechanical pencil for those super fine lines. This just looks like a pencil, but this is all that I have right now. Hey Raven. My voice is going to be in and out because I'm still not 100%, but I didn't want to be gone for too long. So that is it for materials. Now we're going to tape down our paper. Make sure your camera can see it completely. If not, just lift up your phone a little bit higher. I have my phone streamed to my TV, so it doesn't matter how high my phone is. I won't strain my neck looking at it. So doing it that way, streaming it onto your TV, you can do like an 18 by 24 inch easily. If you're doing anything bigger than that, I recommend using the Mural Maker app. It's the sister app to Vinci Eye, made by the same people. The Mural Maker uses 2 iOS devices. One is your camera and the other one is your controls and your view. See, there's a glare. Sorry, I'm just trying to remove this glare that I see on my phone. Okay. Just so you guys can see a bit better. Okay, now we have an anchor. If you need to make a new anchor, go into Tools. And this, you'll automatically go through the steps. Go into Tools, and then AR, and then Anchor, and then you can press Make an Anchor. And then this will give you step-by-step instructions. So you scribble on a piece of paper, something about the size of a card. take a picture of it, then you crop it. You crop it, and then it's good to go. I recommend it trying to be exactly parallel to the anchor when you take pictures of it, because that will somewhat distort the picture when you're using it. So since I've already done all that, this is the anchor. I'm just going to move this a bit. The reference is attached. Sorry, I'm covering some of the anchor. The reference is just stuck on the anchor. So if I tilt it, it will change. It will tilt to either direction. So it will, will just stay in place. So if you accidentally move, let me just see. So maybe someday we can play around with the big mural app. I do already have it. Yeah, it would be so much fun to do it. The only problem is I don't know how I'm going to set up the cameras for that. But I am planning on doing, like, we can go through it real quick. Just how to set it up. But I don't know if I'll be able to do a big piece on the live videos. I am planning to have some big mural, maker stuff, like window painting. It's just a thought at this time. It's not official. But yeah, it would be fun to do that. Sorry, my brain doesn't want to brain. So the anchor keeps everything aligned, even if you move your phone or tablet or your drawing surface, or if you need to take a phone call, it will save the space for you automatically. You just got to go into your saved project, which is this middle button of the main screen. So I'm going to show you. So I'm moving the phone around. I could do the same with the drawing surface, move that around. It will just stay in place. Just to show you, let's say we go back, all the way back to the main page. If you go into your projects with like the little bookmark, all your projects will pop up and they will automatically save exactly where you had it before. So you can take multiple days working on something. What else? So we can play around with the layout before we even start. We can have an idea what it's going to look like. I'm not going to fill up the whole page with this because I want to show you some tricks. Some fun little art tricks. So you press the move button again, make sure it's black so that you can move your camera, like your image of what your camera sees, around. You can zoom in into fine details. And then opacity, this will help you be able to see where you've traced compared to the reference. So if you're having a hard time seeing your lines, just lower the opacity. So, and for those who don't know how this is working, so we're seeing our reference photo and our drawing surface in real time. So that's how you trace. You're looking through your phone or your tablet to trace. Some tools I like to use, which we are going to get into it more detail later. Well, record's fun because you can have like a quick 1-minute video for social media. Breakdown mode. So for breakdown mode, I do 5 steps. And then you can play around with the exposure, but I like to keep it just the way it is and turn off the cutout mode. And what this does is give you step-by-step stencils starting with the lightest areas. So the white areas are white for now, and then colored areas will be a light gray, then a medium gray, mid dark gray, and dark gray. So that I'll get into to show you how to build up hair as well. I'm gonna turn that off. Filters are fun. I'm not gonna really get into that. If your lighting is bad, you can always use torch, which will use your phone's flashlight. Another feature I like to use is strobe. You can play around with the speed, but what I like to do is turn it up to the opacity to the fullest, and then you'll be able to spot the minor differences or differences between your reference photo and the drawing. What this essentially does is, before the Vinci Eye app was a thing for me, I would step away from my art piece, have a reference photo that is printed off, and just kind of cover the piece, looking at the reference photo, uncover it back and forth until I can see little minor differences and then fix them that way. So that's pretty much what it is. I'm going to take this off for now. And we'll get into how to work on hair. And we got many different things to do. Got semi-curled, curled, straight, braided, afro, got a bunch of different stuff. So we're gonna work on the blonde, wavy hair. So there's 3 major things you want to look at when it comes to the hair. The structure of the hair, the big shape of the movement of the hair. So I'll show you what that means. So I'm going to take just for the sake of you guys seeing it, I'm going to trace the chunks of hair. The hair that I can kind of see has its own section. So this is just the general. You don't need to do every single line at this point. You're just trying to get the structures, the big shapes that are being created by the texture. And very simple, very simple. The next thing that you need to look at, which I'm going to actually use the strobe. Charity, can you turn up your speaker? Can you hear me now? I'm just waiting until I can hear myself. Is that good? I was hoping that this would be better, but it might, the microphone that I'm using right now. Let me just check this out. Yes. Okay. Just want to test this out. So this volume, this mic, which one's better? I think the first one was better. Yeah, I think the first one was better. What do you think? Okay, I'm just going on. We're going to go to breakdown mode, and this will show you the shapes that the shadows are creating. That's what we're doing. So we want to we want to recreate the shapes, the shadows. So I'm going to go back with the HB pencil. And what you can do at this point is just shade it in very lightly for now. We can always add more later. I'm going to shade that in. And we don't need to, at this point, like it would be okay to do in the direction of the hair, which would actually be the best way to do it. But you don't have to with this layer. We're just trying to create the basic shapes of the hair. Are you there? Can you hear me? So we're using breakdown mode and we're just creating the shapes of the shadows and highlights. That's what we're doing. Am I okay? I'm okay. I was just, because I have my headset in for hearing the, oh, what happened? Okay, so I'm trying to hear myself, but the thing is it's delayed in my headphone, so I can't really hear myself until like way after. I'm fine. I'm fine. So I was just stopped to listen to myself. That's all that happened. So, I don't know if you can see this. I might need to make it slightly darker, so I'm going to use a darker pencil. But since, like, this is our basics. We're not trying to get all the hair yet, we're not trying to create the strands quite yet. We're just working on the shapes of the shadows. Wow, it's really delayed. The sound is very, very delayed. I was just going by your comments because your comments are way behind what I'm at in real time. Okay, what we're gonna do next is we're going to blend that shading. I'm gonna use one of these interesting things here. I have never used these before, but I'm going to do it today. So we're going in the direction of the hair. Try to blend that in nice and good. We can do a few layers if we want. Let's keep building the layers until it's nice and smooth. I am so sorry. The talking is not helping very well with my throat. I'm just gonna build up the layers. I'm kind of doing like oval strokes, because like this is just pretty much, this is a under layer of what we're gonna be doing. I'm gonna use a darker pencil. I want to tell you something that I wish I knew way before. I'm using Faber-Castell pencils, and they have a matte graphite, which means it doesn't have that shine when you're done, but it gets really dark. We're gonna blend it some more. And you know what? I'm gonna blend it with a tissue paper this time. For some reason, the comments are super slow. Super slow. So I'm just blending in that whole area, kind of giving it all a little bit of a gray undertone to it. Just really pushing that in there. Okay, the next thing, which we're going to take off the breakdown mode for this, is we're looking at the direction of where the hair is flowing. So we're moving with the hair this time. And this is going to be for the line work. The little hairs. I'm going to turn on strobe. This will help me see a little bit better. Well, first I'm going to turn on up the opacity. I just want to, before we go on, I just want to show you a quick trick. I don't know how well I can show you this. I'm going to try and add another camera here in hopes that we can see it a little close up, so this will make more sense of what I'm doing. So just give me a minute. Ooh, that's really warm. Okay, where are we? Built-in cameras. Let's take a look here. So this is a little trick I wanted to show you, and this is great for like little strands of really bright hair. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your empty pen. You can take some tracing paper to go over so you know where you're drawing, so that you don't get any ink, just in case it's not completely empty. But because I don't have that, I'm going to just press into the paper, make indents, and this is why we need thick paper, because you can't do this with like printer paper or thin paper or drawing paper. So we got an indents there. I don't know how well you can see that. And then we can go over it with a pencil. Go over it with a pencil, and then those white highlights are preserved. Do you see that? What's going on? And take our blender, make it nice and smooth. And you see how there's white marks there? Okay, and then another thing, because like it does give, I'm going to just do some really long ones here. It does have like a sharp ending to it when you're doing this. I'm going to do it darker just so I can play around with it. I'm going to do it nice and dark. So you see how it's like really abrupt ends? What you can do is make some powder. I'm going to try to find a case to do this. I think I have one. So how we're going to make the powder is we're going to take that sandpaper and we're going to grind some of that graphite onto the surface. You can buy graphite powder, so you don't have to do this to your poor pencils, but I know there's some people who are screaming right now. But well, you gotta do what you got, right? Gotta do with what you got. You see there's a little bit of powder here. I'm gonna pick up that powder, and I'm going to use a blending tool to just fill in the edges of those white marks, just to kind of soften those lines up a bit. You could also do a light layer of graphite, then do the creases, like do the indents on the paper. So you see it's not so harsh of an end to that. Or take your lightest pencil and just draw in there too, as best as you can. So there is a trick for preserving some really white hairs or whiskers. Great for animals, whiskers. Or even the catch light of eyes would be a good trick for that. Okay. I'm gonna Okay, so now we are going to be focusing on the direction of the hair. Surprisingly, we are not going to take the hair all the way down to from top to bottom. We are going to do some long strokes, but not all the way down, because the hair overlaps. Hair likes to disappear behind other hair, and yeah, that's the best way to do it. The first thing I'm going to do is use the HB pencil. I'm actually going to go into strobe. Because I like to compare the shades and the placement of the hair. And I'm not trying to get all the hair exactly the same because that's just too much. And I am one of those people who like to try to get it exactly the same. So we're going to do long strokes, trying to follow the lines, the direction of the hair. We're going to try to get it to be curved. We're not doing straight lines. And I'm using the lighter pencil. You can actually do this to all of the areas, dark or light, for the start with using the lightest pencil you've got. Mine happens to be a 2H. You want to go over the white lines again? Okay, let me see. Just give me a second. Okay, sorry. So sorry. So this is for thick paper. You can't do it on anything that is thin. You can do a light layer before you do this, or just leave it white. And you take, best practice, put a tracing paper over top and then mark where you want it to be marked. But I don't have tracing paper, so I'm just going to mark it. And this is an empty pen. We don't want any pen marks when we do this. So just push in there nice and good. Just make lines. And then we're going to go over it with the next shade. I'm going to use the darkest one just so you can see. And then you just go over it and those lines will pop up. I don't know how well you can see that. Can you see that? How those lines are preserved? And then we can blend out, well, blend the dark areas. It's still nice and white. We got our charcoal powder, not a charcoal powder, our graphite powder that we made. And we're going to blend out the edges a little bit. I'm going to use a different blending tool, so just play around with it. Then you can just pick up some of that powder on the tip of your blending tool and just push it in there. And that helps soften up the ends a little bit, so it kind of looks like they're fading into the background. Why is it sounding like that? What's going on? What's going on? Anyways, I hope that helped. going to try to fix this. Is it working better now, the sound? On. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, is the microphone better now? Sorry about that. Just following those lines. It's very quiet. I'm going to turn it up. My wireless mic is not working properly. We're just trying to make those lines, those strokes. Oh, another thing, you don't want to do scribbles back and forth. You don't want to be doing that. You're gonna want to just do one line at a time, pick it up, do another line, pick it up, do another line, pick it up, and do another line. It's a little extra work to do that, but it does make a big difference. Not liking the way this camera's looking right now. I apologize for all this. Okay. I need a tech guy to help me out with this. Where I can just continue drawing and not have to worry about technical issues. So when you put the tracing paper on top of for like the lines, when you put the tracing paper on top, it gives a protective layer. So when you do use a pen, if it happens to have any ink, it will prevent it from going on your drawing, and you still be able to indent the paper. So you're still putting quite a bit of pressure, and you'll also be able to see where you're going to be putting those marks, because tracing paper is thin. So maybe sometime soon I should buy some tracing paper so I can go over that with you. But yeah, I don't have it. So we're just going to keep on adding more and more layers of lines, overlapping each other. Again, pick up. Okay, put down, draw, pick up, put down, pick up, put down. Like, I don't know how to say it very well. But you just keep on adding those lines and following the direction of the hair. We don't have to worry about the hair that's, flyaway hairs yet. We can do those last. We are just working on the majority. Yes, I know I was breaking up. Breaking up with you. I'm just kidding, no. Okay, I'm gonna blend this a little bit. I'm gonna take some tissue paper. I'm gonna wrap it around my finger, and I'm gonna blend in the direction of the hair. Just kind of soften that under that layer done. Just soften it up, because we're not actually focused on every single hair. The photo is not focused on the hairs. Just a few little ones here and there. And just that. Okay, now we're going to use a darker pencil. And now I'm going to work on, well, I'm going to start trying to pull out some of those shadows, like the darker areas of like, oh, this is all dull because of how I used it earlier. So this one's an HB pencil. This is the middle pencil. And I'm going to be just working on the highlighted areas, but trying to get those darker sections. Just doing a bunch of little lines, picking up the pencil every time I make a line, and just following the direction of the hair. They're trying to preserve the really bright areas, but still getting those shadows. And it's just layers and layers and layers of doing the same thing over and over again, working on those shadows, preserving the highlights, just getting darker as you go. It is a long process to make it look really good. And remember, we're doing curved lines. We're not doing straight lines. We're following the flow. You want to use a nice sharp pencil too. You don't want to use any dull pencils. Oh. We're not focused on getting every detail. what we see from the app is just a guideline on where about the line should be. And we're going to blend it again using the tissue paper. And we're just going to blend in the direction of the hair. I'm not going to worry about those clips that are in the drawings. I'm just going to pretend they're not there today. We'll do highlights at the end of this process. So now I'm going to go in with even a darker color or a darker shade, which is the mid-dark. I'm going to sharpen my pencil. Now we're starting to focus on the dark shadows. And just because it's blonde doesn't mean that the hair doesn't get super dark. That is something that a lot of people are afraid of, is getting too much, put too much darkness on blonde hair. Don't worry about that. It's just less areas that are super dark, not necessarily no lighter colors all the way through, if that makes any sense. I'm trying not to suffocate today. Remember, I'm picking up the pencil after each stroke, and we're not doing lines all the way through. Those are some common mistakes. So if you've been doing them in the past, stop doing them. It's okay if the lines overlap each other, because that's what hair does. But we've got to try to make it so it's nice and curved. Like curved lines if it's wavy hair. Okay, I'm going to take that tissue paper again and I'm going to blend. And now we're going to go in with the darkest pencil that you have. Sharpen that one too. Just try to get some of those really, really dark areas with this. Now you can do multiple. I'm trying to shorten this a bit so that you get an idea, but you can do multiple layers of different shades. It's like 3 3 layers of the bright pencil, 3 layers of the medium pencil, and 3 layers of the medium dark pencil, and 3 layers of the dark pencils. Because then you're building up volume. It doesn't look like a little bit of hair on there. And blend that one. Now that we're done building up, now we got to build it down. Just a little bit. So we're going to take our mono eraser or our electric eraser. I think the mono it would be better because I don't want the area, like the blonde hair doesn't have super white sections. So I'm going to take the mono eraser for this. And I'm going to get some highlights. And it's still the same motion, same direction as the pencil. Curved lines, especially for wavy hair. We're just going to drag it across. I need to fix this. And remember, we're not going all the way down. We're not going all the way down with these pencils or with the eraser. You can even get some highlights in the dark shadowy areas too, just a little bit. Just less hairs when you're doing that. Don't do as many hairs, as many lines. This from top to bottom, pick up and put down. Always lift the pencil, not going back and forth. Okay, it is time for a break. I might grab myself some tea to help soothe my throat so I don't lose my voice for the other half. I'll see you guys soon. I'll be back. Grab yourself some coffee, some tea, water, whatever. Stretch out your legs. It's a good time to just take a break. Hey, did I remember to turn on my mic? Now is a great time to ask some questions. I can quickly go through things with you. I didn't get time to actually drink my tea, but yeah. I'll just ramble on for a little bit. Right now on the Vinci Eye App group on Facebook, we are doing a challenge giveaway. So I have posted a list of 20 challenges. You only have to complete 10 of them by December 1st, and you will be entered in a draw, a chance to win one out of the 3 prizes of $50, 50 US dollars. If you have PayPal, I don't care where you're from, you can still collect the prize. What else? If you want to try the app for free for a year and you don't have it, there is a promo code for the iOS in the description. If you're using Android, please email me and I can give you your one-time use promo code. So great time to do that. Get free lessons and a free year of drawing with me, like drawing with the app. If you if you want to draw along with me, the reference photos are on the Vinci Eye App group on Facebook, on the featured posts, and also on my Facebook page, Charity Lows Art, also in my featured posts, or directly on the iOS app in my profile, which is Charity Lows Art, in my inspiration posts. So that is ways you can draw along with me. I would really like it if you guys send me some of your favorite drawings, and I can do like a little slideshow at the beginning of my videos and middle of my videos. It would be super fun to see other people's work. A free advertisement if you want to do that, or just have it up there for fun. So another thing is, for any future videos, you can request me to, you can send me photos of what you want to draw along with me. I will also send you the drawing for free if that interests you. So yeah, my skills, like I'm highly skilled at pencil work, so graphite pencils and colored pencils. I have dabbled in other mediums like chalk pastels, watercolor, acrylic, fabric paint, pens, you name it. Wood burning, I can do those too. I can show you how to get started on those. I won't be able to get into very high detailed and how to do really, really like elaborate pieces, but at least I can get you started. I usually like to draw portraits, people or pets, but I will also draw other subjects as well, like still life, landscapes and stuff. Whatever you want me to do, I am here to help you. So you tell me what to do. You're my boss. Anyways, I think that's it. We can get started on drawing again. If you guys have any questions during the video still, I will answer them as soon as I see them. It is super delayed for some reason today for comments, but I will still try my best to answer them. So please make it nice and clear what you're talking about, because I'm probably like 5 steps ahead of your comments. So just be really clear with your comments. So when I learned to draw hair the way I like it, I can see how that can help me with trees, etc. Thank you. I hope you start feeling better. I'm just trying to figure out, so when I learn to draw hair the way I like it, I can see how that can help me with trees, etc. Thank you, and hope you start feeling better soon. Well, I don't know how to respond to that. I'm sorry. You do learn a lot every time you draw something new. And sometimes the skills are overlapped on certain things. So now we're going to continue using the mono eraser, picking up some of those highlights, doing long but not continuous from the top to the bottom strokes, following the curve and the direction of the hair. And I just want to show you how well this electric eraser picks up stuff. It's a tougher eraser and it goes really fast. I'm gonna just go in with the dark areas and just show you how bright that comes out. Do you see that? Do you see how bright that is? I don't know if you can. So we can actually use that. And I'm going to overlay some of the highlights over top of the dark shadows. Do you want to draw a tree? Want to draw a detailed tree? Is that what you're asking? So I'm overlapping some of the white hairs over top of those shadows, just to give it a little bit more texture. Make it look a little bit more real. So there you go. And if you want it to be even more realistic, you just keep working on it. Just keep adding layers and layers and layers of art, of lines. Another thing is, let's just take a look. I want to just look at it as a whole and see if I can find some strays. The person who did the hair on here is really good at their job. There's like no stray hairs. But you can take either, just for example, if you wanted to make it look more natural, you can do a few strayaways, which is still curved lines, but like going in an opposite direction than what they had. So you can have some curled up. You can use the eraser to do that, or you can use a light pencil like H2 to do that as well. Just have a few strays. You don't need a lot to make it look natural, but that's a few little strays. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me see. I might add my other camera here again just to show you. Sorry for the wobbliness of my hand, but you see how I got some stray hairs now in there? So we can take, I'm gonna do a few more. We can take the eraser and just throw in a few stray hairs, or you can take a light pencil and then do the same. Just not too, as long as it's going from the top to the bottom, not all the way to the bottom, but like going in the general direction of down. It should look pretty good. But the person who did the hair of this reference did a really good job of making sure there was no stray hairs. But there you go. I don't know, did you see that? It changed pictures. Okay. Okay. So I guess we'll draw a tree next. What kind of tree would you like to draw? You want an evergreen tree? What kind of tree? You tell me what kind of tree. Okay, we're going on to the next, which is braids. I'm doing this because the way that the hair overlaps each other and the shapes that they have. So I'm going to turn off the strobe. And for your sake and being able to see this, I am going to be using a dark pencil to do the outlines. So I'm going to break down the hair into different sections first. Yeah. So like right here is a section. And then another section right here. And I'm using a dark pencil just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Please use a light pencil for this. We're just outlining those different parts of the hair. So this one was like a brunette. She's a brunette in this picture. So it's a little bit darker than the other one we just did in general. So now we have the shapes, the shape of the hair. Hey Raven, can you send me a picture of a certain tree you want me to draw? You can find royalty-free pictures and stuff on an Unsplash. Okay, now we're going to do the shapes of the shadows and highlights. So I'm going to go in with the breakdown mode. And I'm going to do the 5 steps and, well, we can actually let's do 3 steps. Because I can kind of only see like 3, sorry. I can only see 3 basic shapes here. You can also blur the edges so you're not distracted by all the details. So something in between the 2. Where you can kind of see the structure, but you're not too worried about all the little details. So So we're gonna start, oh, sorry, I think I put cutout on by accident. So we're gonna start with I'm gonna start with a medium pencil, the HB pencil. And we're just gonna kind of, you don't have to do lines at this point. We can just build up the shadowing and the highlights, doing circular motions. But if you are gonna follow, like, if you are gonna do more of like a line shadowing for right now, then I recommend trying to follow the hair direction, but it might be easier to just work on getting the right shading first. An evergreen tree. Kind of interesting. What was sent to me? Sorry, I'm getting distracted now. We're having some interesting things that are happening where I'm living. We have both a postal strike and a teacher strike for the public schools. So soon here, I won't have a teacher for my kid, and I'll have my kid here all the time. I'm not mad at the teachers or the people who work at the post office. I am not mad. It's a little inconvenience for me, but it's really important for them to get what they deserve. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the darkest pencil I have to get those other like the darker shadows here. I'm still gonna just do circular motions for this. Okay, we're gonna blend that out. I'm going to use the tissue paper. I'm just blending in circular motions because that's how we put it down, and that's will probably be the easiest way to blend. So now that we got the shapes of the shadows and the shapes of the structure of the hair, now we can focus on the direction of the hair in each section. We can do one section at a time so that's not so daunting. Let's turn off the breakdown mode, increase the opacity, and use strobe because that's just my favorite thing to do. Sure, I will try. Shading is I don't know what that word is. My dyslexia is really bad at this moment. Okay, we're gonna work on one section at a time. We're gonna build it up. I'm gonna use a mid shade for this. Mid pencil. So that would be an HB pencil. And again, we don't even have to go all the way from the top to the bottom for this too. Just some nice strokes. These are slightly curved, so slightly curve them. I'm just putting a little bit more pressure on those darker areas and then just lighter pressure on the other ones. Remember to pick up your pencil after every mark. No zigzagging. Zigzagging makes it look weird. Then we're gonna blend it. I'm gonna blend it. This time I'm going to blend it with a big blending stump and just go in the same direction as the hair is for this. I'm going to do a little bit more simple, quicker way of doing this. So we're going to use the HB pencil and then the mono eraser for some of the highlights. So there's a little bit of highlight in the bottom here, not a lot, so I'm just going to pick up some of it. And there's a little bit in the dark areas too, where the sun hits some of the hairs. We're not going to worry about strayaways at the moment. We can do that once everything's done. This one I feel like I actually might need to use a darker pencil. So let's do the 6B, which is my mid dark, because I have like a wide range of pencils. We're just trying to follow the direction of the hair. I'm trying to get it nice and dark because that is a really dark section. You can go in with a lighter pencil, which is the H. I'll do the medium HB. and then blend it with, I'm using a blending stump. There is no like exact tools you need to do things. Whatever you think would work best for it that you have, do it. Do it. That's part of the thought. The work part of it is thinking about how you're going to achieve what you want to achieve. I think I'm going to add some more dark to like that previous section we did. I'm going to add some more to it because I see that it is darker than what I have drawn. And blend that again. I think I'll start with the HB for the next section and just follow the direction of the hair. I've noticed the hair is kind of coming to the same point, kind of lower, the lower point, and it's not straight, it's slightly curved. Okay, 6B. Let's blend it, see where we're at. Just blending in the direction of the hair, where it's going. And then take the mono eraser and pick up some of those highlights. The highlights are also in the shadowed areas, but just not as many. Or not as long. And see what this I think I'll just stick to the mono eraser for this. I'm just really trying to study this to see what I am looking at, because it looks like I might actually have another section. So it looks like this part right here, I think that's what I got. This part right here is actually its own section. It doesn't follow that section. This is hair that's coming from the neck. So I'm just, yeah. I'm going to start with the HB pencil and work our way up. So this is coming from the neck. It needs to be darker. I'm going to jump right into 14B. And we're going to blend that going in the direction of the hair. I'm going to erase a few on the end here, just to kind of give it more of like blended. Okay, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it right now. Next section. Using the HB, marking out the direction of the hair. Remember, always pick up the pencil after every line. And you don't have to do the line all the way through, even in the smaller sections. Okay, 6B for adding more shadow. There's a like shadow, a really dark shadow right here, and I'm not going with the hair. I'm actually doing more of circular motions. And then we can add a few little of it pulling out here. Because we already got the structure of the hair, so we don't really need to do anything more than that. And we're going to blend that. Following the direction of the hair. I'm so sorry for my voice. And then we're going to take the Moan eraser and just add a little bit of highlights to that area. I think I might have picked up too much. I'm going to do that little back of the head here. I'm going to actually go straight into a darker pencil. blend that out. I take that mono eraser, just kind of clean that up a little bit. I'm pulling it from the bottom and just to the top here. I'm going to add a few strayaways. I'm going to take the HB pencil, just get some of these strays here. You can kind of just use the reference photo as a guideline to where you need to put these strays. But you don't need to be exactly like the original. I just want to sketch out this her shirt here. Or necklace. I think it's a necklace actually. Just want to sketch that out. Don't have to do that because we're working on hair, not what she's got on or anything else. But now I'm gonna go straight into doing the darkest pencil for this because this is a really dark section. I'm going to take a lighter pencil. I think I might just use the lightest pencil I have for this. Put some detail in those highlights. And then just blending it in the direction of the hair. Take the mono eraser and pick up those highlights. You can use the electric eraser if you want. I just think the mono eraser would give a little bit more of a softer change to the hair. And this section is not as dark. It has a really dark area, but I think I'll start with the 6B, which is my mid dark. Remember, we're focusing on the direction of the hair, also the amount of curve that the hair has. And we're just doing one section at a time. Do you know what the type of hair that is the easiest to do? Can you guess? And I'm not saying bald. Bald is not hair. The type of hair that is easiest to do. I'll give you a few minutes to answer that question because the comments are super slow. Super duper slow. I'm going to go into the darkest pencil now to get that really dark shadow, 14B. Yours can be any pencil you've got, but that's just happens to be the darkest one I have. I have a large variety of pencils, and I like to simplify it. Blend it out, going in the same direction as the hair is when you're blending. And then picking up some of those highlights. And the highlights like to overlap some of that shadow too, so you can add a few little hairs here or there. I think we're going to start with a mid pencil, the HB pencil. We're just following the direction of the hair, mimicking the curve of the hair. We're not drawing all the way from the top to the bottom. Okay, I think I will do the 14B for this little shadow here, just a very tiny one. It's a mixture of following the lines of the one we're currently working on and following the lines of what we previously worked on. And then we're going to blend that out, following the direction of the hair. I feel like I can add a little bit more shading to it, so I'm going to go with the mid pencil, which is HB pencil, and just add some more there. Some areas. And blend that out again. And take the mono eraser and pick up some of those highlights. Pick up those highlights. I don't mean to sound really quiet. It is literally just how my voice is working today. And some of those highlights like to pop up in the shadows. So we're going to pick up some little highlights in the shadows too. I'm just really focusing on what I'm looking at. So it's really kind of hard to tell which direction this hair is. I'm going to stop with the strobe so I can see. Like there's a section that looks like it's going from like sideways, and the other part of it looks like it's going down. Oh, I think I know what's happening. Okay, so the section from the one above is kind of overlapping the one that's underneath. That's what's going on, I think. So this one is more of a down direction. And we're just gonna work on that. We're gonna just work on it doing what the bottom layer is doing, which isn't the one that's on top, like the section that's above it. We're gonna just do the bottom one first, and then we're gonna add a few strays to create the same effect that's happening in the picture, if that makes any sense. You can go with the HB now. I'm going to blend that out and then pick up the highlights, and then we're going to do some straights to some of the loose hairs that are in the braid that are just kind of on top. There's a few highlighted sections, and then we're going to go back with the HB and just kind of overlay it just on top here. Now we're done with that, I think. Let me just take a look. We can add some, well, there's some blurry hairs in the background. So I'm going to take the 6B. I'm going to just do some of that blurry hairs in the background here. This is kind of more of an advanced thing to do, but I really want to do it, so I'm going to do it. So I'm doing circular motions for this. And I'm going to take my small blending stump, it's way over here, and then follow the direction of where the hair is going for that. And we can actually use the blending stump to kind of pull from what we've already put on the paper to create some of these blurry strays. And then we can take, because this is on a white background, I'm gonna take the 2H pencil. What's the easiest? I mean hair types. Hair types, which would be, the easiest one is actually afros, the really tight curls. Those are super easy to do. So we're just gonna add some strays, kind of going with what we see on the page, but we don't have to be exact. Just gives it a little bit more of a realistic touch. And then we can go in and do a few strays of the white highlights. I'm going to use the electric eraser for this because it picks up better for like the really dark sections. You don't have to go with the direction of the hair. And then I'll give you a quick close-up of this. So just give me a minute. So here, I'm just going to. Here is what we've done so far. So that is blonde and that is brunette. We have a lot more to do for our next videos for studying, but I think this is about it. I don't really want to start anything new because we only have like 3 minutes left. Let's go in closer. So anyways, it is the end of our thing. I'll just show you what we've done and what we're still gonna do. So this one is closer to straight. It's not quite straight. I couldn't find straight hair for some reason. And then afro hair, which is really fun and easy to do. And then something more complicated, let's use some more complicated ones, which are braids and buns and stuff, like just something to challenge us. And then we're gonna do really tight curls. So yeah, stick around for, well, come back next week and we will continue doing this. You guys have a wonderful day. Remember, go join the Facebook group, download the app. I got free promo codes for it and in the description. And also you can email me for Android because I don't have, it's a one-time use only, so I can't post it for Android. But yeah, you guys thanks for all the support. It's been wonderful. You guys have a wonderful day.